What? Why have I done that? Yeah, that's what you done. No, I don't know. I don't know. It's right there.
Okay. Even if you hadn't gotten to this point, that's all right. We're just going to go ahead and get started. Okay. So, the first question you have written down. Okay, there will be some days where this is review, and I would hope that you can get the answer down before we discuss it. But if it's up here before we start notes, it is something that we will always talk about. Okay. In this instance, it's a question that you probably didn't have the answer to yet. What are undefined terms in geometry? So we will have. It is hard to describe the variable as undefined because it is defined somewhere. We just don't know what it is yet. So it's more that variables are unknown rather than undefined. Okay. The undefined terms in geometry have to deal with points, lines, and planes. Okay, the reason that these are considered to be undefined is that they do not have any discernible size, shape, color, overall look. Okay, that means that if I say you need to put a point at this particular spot, then whatever point you draw is a point, as you have stated it. Okay, but the point doesn't need to be any particular size. Okay, it doesn't need to be any particular color. Doesn't have dimensions. Okay, it is undefined. It's just something that we use as representations. Okay, lines are the same way. So we'll have lines. Okay, no discernible length, thickness. Okay, color, all of that stuff is kind of whatever you choose. Okay, really no specific way that it needs to be done. Jude.
So would a line between 2 points be defined?
A line between this and this.
Yeah.
So these values right here are defined, but this, the way the line is drawn, is not, and that's really what all I'm talking about. So like I could have a line, okay, the same line that's measuring from this distance to this distance, but instead of it being a black line, I'm going to make it a red line. Doesn't make a difference. It's the same line that we're talking about. Instead of it being that thick, I could make it thinner. That's kind of what I'm going with as far as it being undefined. Okay. Now, if we have a line, what are different ways that we can talk about that line with its slope, right? Where it starts and where it ends. Okay. So that's kind of more about what you're talking about, Jude. That's a good question. Okay. Planes. What's a plane?
A dimension.
So okay, this is a plane. We'll say that this is a plane. Okay, a plane is just I kind of heard it, two-dimensional surface. Okay, again, no discernible size or shape. Sometimes we put a shape of some kind to kind of represent the plane, so just so that we can have a visual representation of it. Okay, and you can have lines, points, all kinds of stuff on a plane. Okay, a point is going to always be labeled. Well, it should always be labeled with some sort of uppercase letter. Okay, so this point right here would be point A. Okay? If I'm writing this, you should be writing this. That's a good rule to go by in this class. Okay? So if we have, let's talk about lines. So if we have 2 points on this line, okay, and we label these points A and B, let's say, what could we refer to this line as?
Line AB.
Line AB. What else? Line BA. Okay, and there's actually another way that lines can be identified if they don't have points on here like this, but let's say they've got a, just make it some sort of lowercase. Lowercase letters are identifying this line as line D. Okay, typically lines are going to be identified as lowercase letters. Okay, so this line has 3 different names. Could be line AB, line BA, or just line D. Okay, and if we're talking about this plane right here, okay, the plane could have its own designation. So it's just plane M. And there are points that could be situated on the plane as well. You need 3 points, okay, to be able to name a plane after those points. So as long as I have these 3 points right here, we have A, B, and C. Okay, so what could we call this plane? Plane ABC. All of the above. Typically, in an answer, you will see them listed in alphabetical order. Okay. Okay. Any questions on that stuff so far? A lot of this initial stuff in geometry is a lot of vocabulary and just kind of learning terminology. Okay. So in your notes, okay, I will always notate, okay, or make a little note that this is a word that you need to know. And when I say it's a word that you need to know, I mean it's going to be a vocabulary word. Okay. So we have a few of those. Okay. It's vocabulary words to start are going to be undefined. Oh dear. Undefined terms. So yes, you will have to define the term undefined terms. Is that okay, Gage? Okay. Undefined terms, point, line, plane. Coplanar points. And if I can spell correctly, collinear points. Okay, so we've talked about the first 4. Have not talked about the second or the last 2 yet. So let's try and see if we can figure it out without actually looking up a definition. So we have coplanar points and collinear points. Okay, what do we think a collinear point or collinear points are? Yeah. Yeah, so basically it's points that share the same line. Okay. So if we look back up at our line example right here, okay, A and B would be considered to be collinear points because they are on the same line. Okay. So the coplanar, okay, the coplanar points, this one right here, okay, are going to mean what? You just define it by using the same word. Coplanar points or coplanar. More specifically, what do you mean? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So same thing. Okay. Same thing. So these are points that share a plane. Okay. You have coplanar and collinear. Okay. You good? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So here is what I would like for you to do next. So whether you draw this plane or not is up to you. But you will be using it for a few examples. It's going to cover up some. Yeah, it's going to do that. Of course. Sorry, guys. I'm getting used to the new pen. Let's see if I missed any. Okay, I think I got everything on there that I want. So we have this plane. Okay, I'm actually going to clean up the middle one. Don't freak out if you see it disappear. Hold on just a second. Okay, so you have this plane. Okay, it has some points. It has a couple lines. You're going to answer a couple of questions. So first, I would like for you to give 2 other names. For line PQ and plane R. Okay, so we have 2 different names for line PQ and then plane R. Then once you get done with that, name 3 collinear points. Whoops. And then name 4 coplanar points. Okay, work on those right now with your neighbor.
Yes, good answer.
Do you think we have to do two
What you feel like? Oh, it's really just stuff that's in your business. SB what? Yeah, I mean, there can you name a line?
What would be some other
You're such a guilty man. Okay. Vincent, where
Or-
you
and when you-
Yeah. Actually, really is a blue.
Oh yeah, because they're code.
Oh my goodness. I got a Jolly Rancher today on speech.
I got 20.
Is the speech teacher good? Yeah. Is the speech teacher good this year?
I was sharing today.
Vincent, something is.
I'll do his three Buffalo Wild Wings.
Oh my goodness.
Buffalo Wild
Well,
Wings.
that's really good.
No, this is SPT.
It's the speech teacher.
No, it's really try to
Okay, so we're playing
But
He's
easier.
Hey,
Really?
Yeah.
yeah.
cleaner I had that.
You never met.
I mean, you would, it would just be.
Oh man, we're all laughing.
Oh my god, I have one.
Oh.
You're Wait, what's it called?
I mean, you also could have write out line.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. Are you like your speech out? I'm gonna probably I'm not gonna copy you.
Yeah, Vincent, show your mom.
Your mom?
Oh, I know that.
It's a word from
What did you get?
a piece of gum there is SPT.
Why do you have peanuts?
Like cunoid.
Because I tried to
Okay, let's come back together. Okay, what are two other names that you could give for PQ? QP. Okay, what else?
Line.
Ooh, I know this one.
I said R.
Yep. You say M?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. Good. Okay, so there is now. Oh, you said M. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
So it's interesting. I actually left something off of here, which would have been helpful.
Oh,
That was very helpful.
Wow.
Yeah. This one. So this M, okay, this M I think is what we were referring to. This one technically goes with the ST line, okay? But you can also identify lines with those lowercase letters. Your teacher just left it off, so you're welcome. Okay, so yeah, you're welcome. So yes, PQ, okay. line in. Okay, also QP, right? Is what we said. Okay, what about for plane R?
Plane SPT VQ.
So you only need 3. So
SPT.
SPT. Okay, perfect. Okay. Wow. Okay. So what about letter B? Okay, what are the 3 collinear points? SPT. Okay. And the coplanar, it's going to be SPT, and then one more, V. Okay. If you said Q, that's not on the plane. Okay. It is near it, but not on it. Okay. Any questions before we move on? No, just a lot of identifying. Okay. Let's keep moving. So, in your list of words, okay, we've got a few more to add.
Line segment.
Okay, line segments.
Oh, I know line segments.
They're my favorite.
No, for real.
All the terms of
Endpoints. Ray.
Ray, I know that one.
I know, Ray. So where are we going? I feel smart.
Ray,
Ray.
I know
Is that school appropriate? No.
I still love you.
Sorry?
I love you.
Hold that up.
Familiar points.
Okay, last word to add to the list today.
Oh my God.
You will not have this many words every time, I promise.
Okay, good.
It's just the beginning. Intersection, yes.
Like on the road?
Red light, green light,
Yeah.
not a Squid Game edition.
Sup. So 308. 308.
But not Squid Game edition.
Okay. Here is geometry. I'll just be honest with you. Your first few classes, okay, are kind of weird. But it'll get more. It'll get better in my opinion. But the first few classes, okay, are a lot of vocabulary. Okay, geometry has a different vernacular than really any math class that you've had up to this point. So here is what your homework assignment is.
What?
Give me a plane with endpoints, rays, opposite rays, and an intersection.
For those of you that happen to miss class, okay, on occasion, whenever I post the video for the notes, okay, we'll always have the homework at the very end of that video, okay? So either the homework will be listed or you will be notified as to what the homework is, okay? For today, okay, your homework is to starting on page 4.
What page? I'm scared. I'm scared.
I am.
Differential equation. Define testers.
Okay. So on a separate sheet, okay, not the one that you're just writing your notes on, but I'd say just the next one in your folder, This is not going to be something that you turn in to me, but it will be something that I check. Okay. The way that your heading can read, okay, is going to be lesson 1.1, okay, which is what we're doing today. I will try and always have the lesson number written on the board back there. So if you're not sure what to title your notes or not sure what to title your homework, okay, lesson 1.1 or whatever the lesson is for that day is a great start. Okay, so lesson 1.1, okay, typically right underneath it is where I would have you write page 4. Now, if you didn't do that this time, that's okay. Okay, and then I will list whatever your homework is. Okay, if it's a worksheet that I'm giving you, I'll give it to you. If there are problems out of the textbook, then I will list those up here, and you have a textbook that is available to you. Okay, for today, we are just defining terms. How many terms do you have to define?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
11. Okay, you have 11 terms. Okay, now would you like to know where to find these?
Yes.
Okay, please open up your Canvas.
That's a lot.
He just touched it. Beat him up. Beat him up.
No internet.
You will need to go to this page. And let me check. I just realized maybe I haven't checked the geometries to make sure it's all working. But
I think beyond chapter 1 book.in.
yes.
Great. 56 pages?
Whoa.
Like having braces. Stuff.
Wait, smile? You don't have any weight? Basics of geometry. Oh my god.
Geometry.
This is
I
point
forgot.
lines
Actually,
and
I remember.
Mass exploration 8.
We're not in
Where are you, Hunter?
I wish.
I wish oh, stop.
I hate this spelling.
Okay. So it is chosen now. Sorry, I didn't fix geometries. I fixed everybody else's. So y'all's homepage for my Canvas course will be modules. Okay. If it wasn't when you logged in, it is now. Okay. And that very first link, okay, under Unit 1 is a PDF textbook. Okay. If you open up that PDF textbook, so for you, oh, that is the wrong Canvas.
politics and education.
Okay. Yes, I don't think y'all want to take y'all don't want to take my politics and education course.
Actually, kind of do because today I'm gonna be
The book that they assigned us to read, Jude, is called Schoolhouse Burning. So that should tell you how politics and education is going.
sounds like arson, but okay.
There's no definitions here.
Okay, so let me show you what it's going to look like.
What's cool is we can kind of skip ahead.
Okay, so once you sign in, this is what your first page should look like, and it's just the modules. Okay, the textbook link is that first link that says Chapter 1 book. Okay, if you click on it, now on your homework, I'm saying page 4. Okay, that's not the PDF page that's up at the top. It's the actual page number of the book. Okay, so just scroll through to page 4. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. I scrolled past it. Okay, and that is where the words start. All of your vocabulary words will be highlighted. Okay, so you're going to go through and get the definition down. Okay, yes. Fun. You can share. That'll be just fine. Okay.
Honestly, I can't believe it's only 45 minutes.
Of course. And I did find a different one. Like, thank you. I'm very excited to be at my duty on Wednesday.
Like your duty? What's your duty? Are you setting your
MJ,
day?
MJ, what you doing? Is that
Yes, you are. You're defining.
Alright, then.
Yes, please do.
Can
Say that one more time.
Mr. Bennett, can you make a 50 push-ups in gear?
50 push-ups in their gear. Sure.
No.
You're defining words.
I saw David in his house yesterday.
Wow.
No.
It is 3:16.
I saw a kid at the roller rink yesterday. I saw a kid at the roller rink yesterday.
Don't you love finding blocks?
Stay healthy.
I do.
Where else would you go? Ice cream.
By the end of the year,
I
I think
have
about
to.
getting gonna have
Oh
blocks.
my god. But yeah, I came out and I rolled over there. You laughed. Do you want us to write down the definition now?
Yes, that is what you can work
I
on.
had to definition unread my notes.
Yes. What is the definition of an undefined term? So, like, if I said, what are undefined terms, you should be able to tell me points, lines, planes. Okay?
How my editings are.
If you don't get anything, oh my god. Someone have a boy? I love boys.
The word.
It's right there. The geometry of the words are point, line, and plane are undefined. You're so intelligent.
Hey,
Oh my god.
can I do it on the back side of the page? Like,
That's up to you.
Okay, what's my next one? Point.
I don't think so. Not today.
so, you go to
We already do that. It's
textbook
okay.
tool 5,
We still have to
you
do
need to define everything that I like.
Bob is very
No.
over exaggerated. What? It's just not the right term. Something. Oh, it says right there. Oh. Oh man.
Bro, this is so
Don't mind me.
hard.
MJ, MJ.
We'll play video. Yeah. It's only like sorry.
He said we have to do it. That is paper.
No.
That is
No.
paper.
No.
Some
Bennett, he's plagiarizing.
plagiarizing the text.
You need to get
I'll do credits. I'll give you credits.
and my students.
I got credits. No worries. No worries. Actually, I wrote the book. Sorry. I wrote the book, so it's not paper.
Oh.
Show me.
The only time I'll ever bring food to school is if I brought food.
What?
No one saw anything. At least I'm not.
Alright, no. We do all the highlighted ones. Yes.
Why did
I don't know. I went to RGB and I also saw a note. And note. Yeah. That had me started. I was scared.
I love it. What? Like, undefined terms are
We don't really understand what it says. It's just right.
The plane has two dimensions. It is written by a shape that looks like a floor or a wall. It It extends without air? Plane extends without air? Oh, so this is what you were trying to. So you use also the textbook for the lessons?
Sometimes, not for all of them.
Yeah, it has like those reclining seats, like things.
Hey, just a minute. I wonder how you would get 4 dimensions on a plan. Would you do like diagonal at that point?
You'd write a what is
To
it?
get 4,
Tesseract? Get a test use.
well, technically, we can't do that.
Yeah, it's impossible.
If we go by a wrinkle in time, I think the 4th dimension is time. So, I'm not sure how we do that.
The fifth dimension would be infinity layered time.
It would be Jesus.
It's non-existent.
Bro, that's the 4th dimension right there. Honestly.
Why are you writing? My quality is so good. You want to see it?
No, she can definitely tell exactly what
That's the 4th dimension right there.
I can tell that there's a person in your
And
life.
then I found my Tesseract. Hey, Jesus.
Why?
We'll put your Tesseract.
Why are you like this?
Yeah, man.
Isn't a tesseract like a 4th-dimensional?
Hey, Vincent, what Tesseract you got?
Imagine doing it. I can't imagine.